What is up, guys? It's Cheko here, and today we are playing Marcus's character story, which is the Tall Lighthouse. Yes, you guys voted, so you will receive the video you voted for. This is actually post-me. It actually went pretty well, and the story was actually, it was cute. It was cute. It was a cute story, so I hope you guys are locked in and ready to see what happened before, during, in between Marcus's whole life. Yeah, so let's get into it. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was crossing my finger just slightly, hoping that you guys would be like, no, Cheko, you don't have to, because of my throat. But I'm also interested, so I don't mind. I seem to have stood still for an eternity, engulfed by the sea of thoughts, kept silent as a cemetery. The three lighthouse keepers on the asile still remain, where they should have long passed in memory. Oh, is Marcus writing? Oh. What voice do I give Marcus? So much has transpired here on the Flannan Isles. Each and every event etched itself into my consciousness. Despite all the installments so far on the history of the Flannel Isles, what I've documented barely scratches the surface. The readers, I believe, share my eagerness for the next issue of the Daydream Post. I cannot let them down. The young lady rubs her eyes and refocuses back to her writing. The history of the Flannel Isle column has to fit in roughly a third of a page, but there are so many more stories about the archipelago I've yet to tell. Stories the readers haven't heard. Miss Denny mentioned that even the editors have been following the mysteries of the Flannel Isles with intrigue. If I can keep up that interest, she might allow me an additional section.
Exactly.
The way I can... Ooh. This is new. We have not seen this animation yet. The way I can present our readers with a more comprehensive look at their stories. That's probably for the character model. Livened up, she dives back into her writing. The Flannel Isles, a small island chain in the outer Hebrides of Scotland, sorry guys, have been the subject of rumor for years. Even up to today, many mysteries still remain here. Of course, oh, we're back at the Lighthouse on 9 Meter Green Lake, which is kind of ironic, because that's the one that's playing right now. Anyway, of course, to hear it from the credible authorities, the Lighthouse are indeed the whole archipelago. We're perfectly normal, all for except its three vanished lighthouse keepers. Speculation over the disappearances drove the public wild, yet the authorities claim they were simply swept away in a deadly storm. This, of course, did nothing to convince them. Meanwhile, a sailor claimed to have seen coal-black UFOs over the island, casting eerie cold beams of light. Other theories included gargantuan man eating birds, Featherman, a bottomless abyss, and so on. Rumors continue to swirl, but the truth remains elusive. The police report the long entries and the lack of any recovered bodies. They all still scream one thing: this is no simple disappearance. 12 years have passed, yet driven by curiosity, I decided that I must visit the island myself, and there I discovered a never-before-seen logbook. The signature on it reads, James recorded on December 15, 1900. 19,000. No, it is 1900. Her pen hangs in midair like a sail on still water, hesitantly to embark on the next line. So much time has passed since the incident, yet the mysteries only seem to multiply. How can I sift through all these story threads? Before setting foot on the island, I heard other unsettling rumors from the sailors. Ships passing too too near often find themselves caught motionless in the sea, with eerie and unnatural ooze forming from their decks. These frightful tales have meant that most give this archipelago a wide breath. This is a story worth telling. Meanwhile, there is the matter. Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, there is the matter of the island's lighthouse, which has, through unknown means, been kept in operation for 12 years despite being abandoned. If I failed to include I'm sorry, this animation is just so pretty. I just had to watch it. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Lock in. If I failed to include that sort of mystery in my history of the Flannel Isles, I'd surely regret it. Which, of course, leads to the central mystery of them all, the disappearance of the original lighthouse keepers in the first place. Spoiled for choices, Marcus is nonetheless in a very briny pickle. And Audra's choice lies before the poor girl.
History
of the Flannel
Isles
belongs to the islands themselves. It's not fair that I treat their stories impartially. To turn down the opportunity to tell any of these stories feels like a betrayal to the truth itself. Her gaze wanders, shifting from one page of the notes to another. There it is, a narrow path that she could follow to capture the essence of all these stories. I set the logbook aside, noticing the lighthouse just as its light washes past me. After the disappearances, no one proved willing to station on the Flannel Isles. The Eileen Moore Lighthouse was left unnamed, or so it should have been. From the base... is this a new area? Or was this in chapter 3? Me trying to recognize the freaking backdrops. Anyway, this might be new. From the base of the lighthouse, I walked step by step upward. Curiously, I noticed the wooden stairway beneath my feet appears to be meticulously well maintained, and stranger still is the warm yellow light spilling from the apex of the tower.
Oh dear.
They all silent yet truthful convey an astonishing revelation that this lighthouse has been running just as well as it had since it was abandoned 12 years ago. My footsteps falter, nearly trembling backwards at the realization. Yet how could I believe all that I'm seeing? Nevertheless, the slippery moss and withered scratches adorning the grounds prove with cold logic that 12 years must indeed have passed here. Oh my gosh. After composing myself, I decided to begin my exploration. Just before I alighted, I sounded the ship's steam whistle. Oh my gosh, the misfortune befalls me at the police can collect my body here within a few weeks and have a story publicized. If that must be my last humble contribution to the world. Now I have to go back and see what she said. Just before I alighted, the sound of the ship's steam whistle to signal to passing vessels, if there were any. Then I took the 3 remaining flares. Okay. Stepping back onto the island, I no longer feel as relaxed as before. A touch of fear and sorrow occupies me, but thankfully my heart still harbors the courage to strive for knowledge and human progress, and to unveil the truth of the mysteries of this mysterious place. Door locks won't bar my way. I defiantly climbed through a window, entering into a cramped space that, by all rights, should have been long forgotten and moldering. Moldering? Marcus has fully immersed herself in the world she is recreating, wandering freely along the blank page, then back to the ink-stained words. The kitchen door is open. Through there is not naughty inside. What? Not even a moldy apple, a rotten orange, or even a cowbell. Not the moldy apple and rotten orange. My mind as yet stiff. Oh my gosh. My mind as yet stiff with anticipation. Suddenly and involuntary relaxes as it stumbles over an idle thought.
Perhaps.
This was nothing more than a prank, if a poorly executed one. Or perhaps a kind-hearted soul, for the safety of all the ships in the area, made a habit of replacing the lighthouse lamp and repairing its rusty screws, but bowed by some secret honor. Oh my gosh. Swore to never tell any of his works. These are, for now, my best theories of the nature of this mystery. Marcus wields her pen with renewed fire, drowning out the sounds around her. Out of obligation, I settled on making a final cursory check before leaving. Courtesy? I don't know. To think that it would mark the beginning of a whole new chapter of this unfolding mystery. Ooh. Inexplicitly, I found myself knocking on the bedroom door, stiffling a chuckle as soon as I realized my folly. Knock, knock, knock. But as I brace to push open the door, it swings open in spite of me with a grated creak. The sudden movement causes me to stagger and stumble, falling beside the fireplace inside the room. To my surprise, the cold dust under my palms holds a comforting warmth, as if it had come from a dying flame, one that could again alight. What the? Two figures from just beyond my vision, at first pale and translucent, but gaining substance, as if to match my palpable fear. Are you ghost? This pair of specters suddenly shriek, as if in terror. You can see us? And we face each other dumbfounded before a series of knocks come from outside, steady and deliberate. Knock, knock, knock. Dang. Thought Madam Hoffman would be in. Also, what is this, Marcus? Is this your side quest? Marcus wants to be a renowned author. You and a Yenisei would probably end up being best friends. Marcus, Yenisei, and Bear met. Call it. The knocking is no longer just a fragment of the author's recollection.
Ms. Marcus.
Oh. Anyone in there?
Oh.
Yes. A moment, please. She hurriedly gathers the paper now scattered across the desk, stacking them aside neatly. Lest the voice outside had grown impatient, she cautiously pulls the door open. Oh. This place is pretty. I say
Ms.
flannel,
Marcus.
but it's like Oh. Greetings, Miss Marcus. The man before her, with his stern gray and neatly patterned tie, nods courteously. Greetings. You'll see here. I've been sent by the St. Pavillon Foundation. I am an investigator responsible for registering all arcanists in the Aline Siar region. His tone is flat and official, but his bearing exudes an air of entitlement and pride.
What is that?
Foundation? Oh, this is Marcus before. She was just on adventures. Now she's on adventures, but in the Foundation. And receiving trauma. And hopefully therapy. The significance behind the name has clearly been lost on the young lady. Oh. Oh. So Marcus is in. Ooh. The two arcanists at the door exchange identical puzzled glances. The growing tension of the moment proves too much for the columnist to handle. Oh no,
Oh no.
have I misspoken?
It's all my fault.
Was I so immersed in my writing that I neglected this gentleman's summons? I don't recall how many times the door was knocked. Wait, so all that knocking was him? It was a couple times. It was a couple times, Marcus. Was it 2, 3, or 5? No, perhaps more than that, indeed.
Perhaps.
The sound of the door seems more muffled than usual. I should write Miss Denny to see if she might buy me a doorbell to send along with my fee. But to travel all this way is nowhere near convenient. I doubt anyone besides Post would deliver here. Here, her thoughts wander further and further, only to be brought back in by a deliberate and expectant cough.
Ms. Marcus.
Overthinking Miss Marcus. That is one of her traits. She overthinks. I'm like, Miss Marcus, please. Allow me to get straight to the point, Miss Marcus. Our records show you've not left the Flannel Isles in some time. Yes. To be candid, this choice of accommodation has caused a bit of an inconvenience for our registrations. Most arcanists at the very least, will frequent a bare minimum of social events like the grand exhibitions or the festivals in Edinburgh. Lady Nellie Memba's divine voice echoes in the theaters from Europe to Australia, and if nothing else, the Highland Games attract thousands of spectators and participants every year. Somehow, even the dearest of my colleagues find time to celebrate those occasions, at least on occasion. See, I think it was the way Marcus was writing. That was very confusing. I mean to say, when it comes to my reading, too many crazy words and unfamiliar sentences. I mean to say, the world is filled with all kinds of wonders, and forgive my directness, Miss Marcus, but you ought to consider seeing more of it, and I hesitate to mention. She already said it. The man's barrage of verbiage overwhelms the reclusive lady at the door. Perhaps this gentleman has caught some kind of mania, or have I really been isolated on this island for too long and forgotten that people are all talkative like this? Oh, Marcus. Steady on, Marcus. You can handle this. Steady on is kind of a sick saying that I may or may not take for myself. Fist clenched, she quietly cheers herself on, which she does a lot. The current situation calls to mind a page of advice from Introduction to Social Etiquette. Rather than admitting their ignorance on a subject, a cultured person is wise to steer the conversation towards grounds more familiar to both parties. And for this gentleman, a most suitable topic would be...
I got it!
Ah, I have it! Overthinking Marcus. Lifting her head, she realizes she must seize the opportunity to pierce through the man's blather? I just realized, is this Marcus like insight level 2 or insight level 1? Also, I've never seen Marcus smile this much in the main story, so... Sarah, I believe I've heard a lot about your foundation when I was in the orphanage. That you were collecting arcanists, particularly children. And that you did so by force. Uh-oh. Huh? Some children said people from the Foundation took away their friends. Oh. The investigator's face grows somber. Evidently, their conversation had not been going as prescribed by Introduction to Social Etiquette. That much was clear, even to Marcus.
Oh!
That was a poor excuse for a joke, Miss Marcus. We're indeed living in a wondrous era, where transgressing social norms have become greatly valued. Rationality, science, freedom, and, with it, of course, a progressive sense of humor. I'm sure you only meant to appeal to that transgressive humor, but these accusations are quite inappropriate, even as a joke. Especially as you haven't officially joined the Foundation yet.
No.
Oh, no! I didn't mean to offend you. It happened in my home country, in Romania. Perhaps things are different here. Regrettably, there is nothing close to applicable in this scenario from her reading and introduction to social etiquette. The heavier blow drops as Marcus at last picks up on the man's intention in coming all this way. Wait a moment, sir. Did you just mention something about joining the Foundation? Me?
Of course.
Naturally. Is there a problem? He adjusted his lapels in both hands as if launching into a well-practiced speech. Oh, Marcus, let me know if you're gonna read these
Ms.
lines
Marcus.
first. Shall I take it your heart is beating so fast out of excitement? I understand how you feel. Many new colleagues have experienced similar emotions. But please don't worry. The Foundation has a full-fledged medical support system.
Sir?
Sir, would you stop for a moment? Her voice trembles as she speaks. I very much appreciate you coming here. I've come to fully understand the importance of the Foundation and its popularity among the people. And, well, of course, I'm grateful for your invitation. But as you can see, I currently have some unfinished tasks at hand, which are related to my dream. Marcus turns her gaze back, staring at the small corner behind the doorway. Her world is writing. Oh, a dream? Well, might I ask what your dream is? What is your dream, Miss Marcus? The investigator nods knowingly, as if Marcus' response is not at all unexpected. I dream of making people aware of the mysteries of the Flannel Isle and about the world of Arcana, man. Ah, well, that is indeed a great aspiration. He steps forward, gesturing toward the boundless sea.
Ms. Marcus.
But Miss Marcus, don't confine yourself to these islands. Look beyond the horizon. The world out there is full of mysteries waiting for us to explore and uncover.
Of course.
And that is precisely what the Foundation aims to do. Surely you wouldn't withhold your contribution to the welfare of humanity and progress of civilization. No, indeed, this closely aligns with my goals. It's only that... She pauses, swallowing the rest of her unfinished sentence. The investigator comes to some sudden realization as he scrutinizes the girl in the doorway. Oh, of course. You're a renowned writer with countless readers awaiting your next piece. Marcus hurriedly waves her hand in denial, a noticeable flush spreading from her ears to her cheeks. Oh,
In fact,
I just want to punch her cheeks. Pinch her cheeks. I misspoke, guys. I swear I would not lay a single finger on Marcus unless it's to give her head pats and cheek pinches. You know who I do want to punch though? Constantine. Anyway, no, in fact, I'm really just a greenhorn columnist. Oh my gosh, columnist? Like, for the columns? Allow me to make my pitch again. The Foundation possesses a great magnitude of literary works from all over the world, be they about humans or arcanists. Upon joining the Foundation, you need only to fill out a book request form pending approval from our supervisor and administrations, and then you could read our catalog to your heart's content. Joining the Foundation would more than serve any writer. But there are so many people curious about the events that occurred here. Stories I've yet to write. How long has she been here, and how many stories is she writing? At this point, I think... Low-key, no offense, Marcus, but I think all the stuff you're seeing is like straight up in your head. I think you've been here long enough. If you haven't gotten anything, Marcus, is there anything left? Is there anything left, Marcus? I think you're just seeing things at this point. Like those ghosts? I think she's just seeing them. She's been here for so long. More importantly, James, Thomas, and Donald, my friends, they're all counting on me to tell their stories about these islands.
sorry.
My work here is not finished. Can't you just She gasped as if dislodging a boulder from her chest. The man frowns, his disappointment evident beneath the polite exterior. Dang.
All right.
As you wish, madame. I will faithfully report your choice to my superiors. Just come back when she's done. Like, the opportunity shouldn't have an expiration date. My choice? She panics again. Uh-oh, I made a choice! Me when I make decisions and I didn't know I made them, and I'm like, my choice? I made a choice? No, wait, let me think this.
No.
No, I haven't made any choices yet. I only hoped that you might give me some time to consider your proposal. I promise, it won't be long. Whether moved by her nearly pleading tone or swooping on his pitch again, the investigator clears his throat.
But...
As you wish, but I would caution you that the Foundation's enrollment capacity is limited. Should you tarry too long in deciding, you may find yourself waiting outside our offices wishing you had taken up our offer sooner. When you've made your mind up, send this to Aline Siar. No need to write a specific address, just the Foundation will do. Oh. He hands Marcus a letter with a checkered pattern, then turns abruptly without looking back. Dang, their interior design team, their marketing team, keep them on brand for real. You see this? Left alone, the girl sways and collapses to the ground. The blank form is clenched tightly in her hand, creased with worries. The Foundation is a renowned organization, one that possesses a significant number of arcanists like me. Possesses a significant number of arcanists like me. It might be a source of insight for my future work. Not to mention the Foundation's colossal collection of books, both on arcanum and human society. Still, I have to think about my readers. They'll be waiting for the latest stories of the Flannel Isles. Not to forget that Miss Denley holds great expectation concerning my work.
History.
How could I disappoint them?
Isles.
Won't anyone help me with this conundrum? Her faint cries fail to travel far. It fails even to drown out the sound of renewed knocking.
Hey!
Ahoy, Miss Marcus! You're finally awake. We thought we might find you sleeping outside again for the 13th time. And with your eyes still open. Another voice adds to chorus of cooling over Marcus.
Everyone?
Nothing unusual. This boys? Our wee Marcus has always been good at sticking her nose around looking for things she can, what do y'all call it again? Hey, read! Oh, hello, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Donald, and Mr. James. You break our poor ghostly hearts, Miss, did you nay hear our footsteps rushing over to you? Marcus gives a quick glance at the three men's feet, which are nearly transparent and hovering slightly off the ground.
Sorry.
Skipping Isolde. Is this not Isolde's power, Marcus? I'm sorry. You and Isolde could collab on a column, you know. I don't see why not. No, right. No time for beating around the bush. Cuddies. Give the letter on over to the last. I bet it's another admirer heaping praise on our Marcus. Another letter is handed to Marcus, bearing a pattern familiar to her. Do nay worry, Miss Marcus. We were good, just as promised. We remember the tongue lashing you gave us when the last postman took a tumble into the water from fright. We were quiet as a church mice round the postman lately. Eh, Donald? He can attest to it. What with what with him always hiding at a distance like a right coward.
What?
Today, call me a coward? But hey, I promise you, Thomas hasn't spooked him nary a bad face nor wink this time. What the frig? Still, the postman turned tail the second he tossed down the letter. And just what are they so afraid of anyway? This place, I reckon. And that's why we need our wee Marcus and her history of the flannel to tell our stories. That's exactly what our wee Marcus is trying to do. Uh-oh.
What?
What's wrong, Miss Marcus? You seem a mite troubled. Something odd about that envelope. It's a rejection for my 15th edition of the history of the flannel. Oh, bruh. No! Dang it. I mean, Marcus, I think you just go to the foundation. They clearly don't want your amazing writing. They will probably appreciate it at the foundation. 3 islands. So we're still here. Sorry. Marcus has a decision to make. The rejection letter shakes in her trembling hands. Aww. We regret to inform you that after discussion by the editorial board, we will be unable to publish the 15th edition of your History of the Flannel Isles. We would like to share this with our primary concern regarding this edition. Since its publication, History of the Flannel Isles has garnered intense discussion among our readers. We are well aware of the curiosity about the mysterious archipelago and of your skillful writing. It is in this hope that we ask you to revise your latest edition to reveal the truth about the 3 lighthouses in greater detail. It cannot be underestimated that we are by no means doubting your capabilities, Miss Marcus, but with the limited understanding of Arcanum, most of our readers have expressed that they are more interested in what happened to the lighthouse keepers, the truth. They believe that you can unveil the mystery that has puzzled us for more than a decade and come to a tidy end for this story. In light of our decision, no pun intended, we have already reserved some promotional space for History of the Flannel Isles. We look forward to your revised edition. Your faithfulness, Dinley. I think they just want an end. The letter floats to the ground, falling from a trembling hand. I think they're saying, girl, where's the ending? That's what that seems like. Seems like they're like, girl, we want the end, please. Girl, where is the ending of this? The girl lowers her head, devastation lingering over her. Miss Dinley says she is unsatisfied with the latest edition, but aren't their stories all a part of uncovering the truth of our readers? The truth our readers are expecting? The oddly arranged reef, the ultimate cause of the lighthouse pendulum phenomenon. Aren't the readers curious at all? The truth about what happened to the lighthouse keepers. Did I do something wrong? Overthinking Marcus. Marcus looks out at the ghosts gathered around her. It seems what the readers are really eager to learn about is not the Isles, but your legend. The elder ghost pats Marcus on the shoulder.
Marcus.
It's not your fault, wee Marcus. You think there were not but spoiled brats left in the world. Is it A or I? But you can blame them. You can't blame them, can't you? How could rocks and lighthouses compete with a tale of 3 seasoned seafaring spirits? He nods as if he's reluctant to admit to some truth. Some loyalty they've shown. Up till now, they could nae stop puffing up your work. A brand new approach to documentary literature. A one-of-a-kind writing style. A highly immersive reading experience. The young ghost recites the remarks indignantly. They said it themselves, And then, in just a blink, our wee Marcus is no longer a... What was it they said? A progressive icon of literary trends? Literary trends? Or some old song like that.
Sir?
Mr. Thomas, please say no more.
In fact,
I could never live up to that kind of praise. Besides, there's no denying it. This is a rejection letter. Oh. Marcus' cheeks flushed in shame. Her head lowering deeper into her chest. Suddenly, a flood of thoughts flow into her mind. More overthinking!
oh dear.
Oh dear. The way I boasted to the Foundation gentleman about my work.
Maybe.
Perhaps he was aware of this letter. Maybe he even secretly laughed at my ignorance. Marcus, stop overthinking! Could he have passed the mailbox on the way here? I like Marcus's hair color, by the way. This sort of like ash brown. It's really aesthetic. She reportedly examines the envelope as seeking confirmation of something. Oh, Didn't worry, Mr. Marcus. The glue on the envelope was intact when we got it. Could Nay be opened by anyone else? Could Nay be opened by anyone else? No, I'm not worried about anything. Still defiantly like a punctured balloon, she murmurs to herself. The Foundation's investigation investigates any arcanist pending registration. They probably examined their letters sent to arrive here recently. If so, they might read out this rejection letter at some book club gathering, and then I'd become a laughingstock of the entire Elaine CR. No, the entire United Kingdom. Oh, right. I have to write. Oh my gosh. Oh, right. I have to write to them. Maybe I should ask the Foundation not to report what I boasted about my literary works. But should I really join the Foundation? The progress of history of the Flannel Isle hasn't been quite as smooth as I'd imagined. Perhaps I do need more time to think about this. Oh, but that investigator did imply that the Foundation is not particularly patient. Would he take my decision as disrespectful? Marcus, please. Light-headed and drained, she braces herself with a fainting step. The specular sailors gather around, lifting the fallen letter from the ground together.
Marcus.
Raise your head, wee Marcus. I'm sure the lads and I can help. In my adamantly humble keen of writing and reading, isn't it so that writers place their most interesting content and at the very beginning, so that they grab their readers and keep them reading? So if you're baiting them in with the likes of rocks, seagulls, and lighthouses, well, they're not so much kind to seize your attention, eh? Nice. Thank you, James. Thank you. He gives her chest a few pats. Now, my humble selves, on the other hand, I lived here for decades, not to mention I've been here not living for a decade more. I reckon the memories I've got tucked away could make for some pleasing bait indeed. The quiet ghost timidly speaks up. I think maybe James is right. Maybe you could write just a wee bit more about our stories, if you'd like. That is.
I mean...
I only mean we've spent a lot of time on the islands. People don't need to come here in person to see what we saw, to hear what we heard. Maybe this could clear up all the fear. Maybe make people curious. His suggestions through a whisper speaks volumes. The other two ghastly gentlemen look at him in proud approval.
Great.
Exactly. They must be quite curious about my past, and of course, more than happy to let these youngings glean upon from old James' yarns.
That's experience.
See, the mind of a seasoned sailor like myself is filled with heart-stirring stories. I could go on for days. He proudly strokes his mustache, preserved in spirit, exactly as trim and refined as the old sailor himself.
Oh.
You're pulling my leg, mate. Fat chance. They'd give a barnacle bottom about these ancient salty fish tales of yours. Intentionally or not, the bickering ghost dispelled the gloom hovering around Miss Marcus.
Sirs,
Really? Would you be willing to share your past, or perhaps even reveal the truth about your deaths?
Of course.
Of course, Marcus. You're our best and only mate besides ourselves.
Marcus.
I also want to show more of this place to people before we're completely forgotten by the world. Thank you so much, all of you. She bowed sincerely before producing her pen and papers. Alright, now where do we start? A. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so hard. A. That's it. A story from some years ago. Back then, of course, I was more than the humble ghost of a man you see before you. I was the leader of this outfit, and these two were merely my half-witted lackeys. Yet, driven by our shared honor, fate, and my keen sense of command, we successfully defended these isles from falling into bedlam. We drove away more than a few greedy moneybags who wanted to claim these isles for themselves. Oh, and I recall we once saved a gargoyle that was dying of thirst. Throughout these heroic endeavors, it was a wise old Captain James who stood sentinel over these isles until the incident. Elder Ghost rambles on, peering over at his lackeys from time to time.
No.
Boy, what a load of billage. If you write down anything this salty old blether tells you, you may have a reader left. Oh, it's not that we don't like your stories, Captain. It's only you went on a bit. Maybe if you don't mind, we can see if the lass likes my story more.
You fool.
Oh, hey, belittle your captain's storytelling? Insubordination, I say. Inegred whippersnappers, didn't listen to them. Wee lassie. With my daring navigational narrative, they'll be begging for your next edition. It's only, Captain, this story, it's not just about you. All fired up, the trio crowds around Miss Marcus, josting from the increasingly scarce space on her manuscript paper. Gentlemen, please quiet yourselves. We'll do it by turns. Aye, fair enough. I suppose I should have my go. I hope you're ready, lass, because I can guarantee I've got the best of the best. Now, it was my first winter on this island. On that fateful day, lass, there had been quite a few folk that had alighted with me. Police officers, some repairmen from the Northern Lighthouse Board. I think one of them scraped off with my oilskin coat after they finished tinkering with the clock in the lighthouse. So there I was, there, watching them from afar, waving at them as you do. Not a soul noticed me. Well then, as if you are sitting, I advise you to see then. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. From there was a sky-shrouded fog when what enveloped all the isles around Elena Moore. And even our most advanced telescopes couldn't see but half a nautical mile away. Some folks panicked. Ere long, the damp mist soaked straight into everyone's clothes, and that's when I noticed my body had turned transparent. Then there was a great hoinking rumble that grew closer and closer. I raised my head. Before me was a gigantic towering wave. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm trying my best. Whew! Towering wave, the likes of which could submerge half the island and a little more besides. Dang near swept away the lot of us. A few survivors threw themselves onto the boats by shore, so I got to wipe the water from my face. Took all but a second, and then, I swear on me mum, When I looked up, the fog was gone, and the survivors' boats were all anchored steadily. Must have been 5 miles out. Then it seemed just as quick as I blinked. They were moving again, racing towards the horizon at the speed of 14 knots or more.
Oh dear.
Oh my, that was truly astonishing.
In fact,
Astonishing? Astounding. Very. Maybe, but it's the truth. I'm sure of it. I've kept it locked up tight in my mind since that day.
what?
Well, Miss Marcus, I don't mean to interrupt. Only, I don't think that really happened. Oi, Donald, you wait your turn and tell the little lass your story. No need to go mucking up mine. Mark my words, Miss Marcus. You're going to reel in the readers with this story. Provided, of course, that you choose it as the feature for your next edition.
I
was about to say it, but then she said it. Her motionless pen gives away her hesitation.
Marcus.
Perhaps you might like to listen to my story first, Miss Marcus. When I was a wee barn, my granddad told me a lot of stories about these islands. Only then, they weren't called the Flan Isles. Elaine Moore and its 6 nearby islands were all together referred to as the 7 Holy Isles. Someone claimed to have unearthed some skeletons here, and the bones were those of infants, but some said they must have belonged to another race. So for a while, this place has been known as the Pilgrim's Isle. The emotions carried in his tone is so intense that his ethereal form almost feels corporeal for a second. It was because of these stories that I joined the Northern Lighthouse Board and became an assistant lighthouse keeper here after I finished my schooling. I hope to uncover the truth about the Pilgrim's Island. Right. So did you succeed? No. But I managed to find some clues, some signs that there were mysterious animals hereabouts. Perhaps the pilgrims really did live here. Pilgrims? What the frick? The other two breathed a sigh of relief. I'm afraid there isn't much meat on the bone of that tale, lad. It won't do for a main dish of the wee lass's edition. He strokes his mustache, feigning a sense of pity.
That's right.
Sorry, lad, but your story is even mustier than... mustier is a crazy word. Than the captain, and his was rustier than the knight's armor. Hey, it might impress a few old folks, but other than that, it's a dud. Oh, but I have evidence, Miss Marcus. I'll prove it to you. The three spooky would-be storytellers delve into another fruitless argument.
Experience.
Not one of yous has the learning to understand the minds of our lass's readers. She needs a proper story from a refined gentleman with a wealth of experience. Oh, snot off with your experience. What the lass needs is the events that led to our deaths, not moldy old sailor yarns. Oh, aye. Memory, was it? And you said it was spinning yarns? I've nary seen anything like what you described in all my years here.
What?
Hey, we can and go making things up for a nice story. Oh, but well, Captain, I did suppose you even remember what that so-called gargoyle looked like, do you? Unless you do, I mean. The debate is heated nowhere fast. I think we ought to leave it up to Miss Marcus to decide. The third shifts their gaze onto the girl before them. Captain James' recollection is certainly the longest and most complete. I'm sure the readers will appreciate his thoroughness. But Thomas's experiences have the closest ties to the outside world and the mysteries of their deaths, which might corroborate some circulating rumors. As for the stories of the Pilgrimage Isles, it seems like it might have the most rich historical elements. All of these are worthy of being recorded in more detail. Her evasive gaze cannot escape from the three spectacle lighthouse keepers' eager eyes. She finds herself caught between the ghost and the deep blue sea. Miss Marcus? Her lips tremble slightly along with the manuscript paper in her hand. I will include all of your stories, I promise. I dare not overstate the literary value of this edition. I can only share with you that it is inspired by the experiences of three ghosts, the very lighthouse keepers who disappeared here 12 years hence. Dear Miss Denley, I write to you in hopes that this latest edition will prove more than satisfactory. Did I make the right choice? Or rather, did I even have a choice? In any case, I finally completed my edition. I hope nothing interrupts the delivery. Moreover, I hope it doesn't get rejected again. Illuminated by the dim reflection of the lighthouse's beacon against the pressing clouds, a heavy stack of manuscript papers is tossed into a lonely, rusted mailbox. Marcus is so adorable. Marcus is so precious. A fraudster. Oh no, not my little Marcus. A blank page is folded and unfolded again and again. Her hands repeat this action unconsciously as Miss Marcus murmurs anxiously to herself.
Theoretically...
My latest edition of History of the Flannel Isle should have been published in the Daydream Post yesterday.
But...
I know that if the editors weren't satisfied with the entry, it would have been rejected 2 days prior. But Miss Thomas says we've received no letters at all. Oh, Mr. Thomas says we received no letters at all as of yesterday. So it passes the editor's review. It must have. So it passed the editor's review. It must have. So I should let myself feel some relief. Thanks to the help of my ghostly friends, this edition covered some of the truly extraordinary topics and gave the readers an opportunity to better understanding of the Flannel Isles. Maybe it will even spur a tourism boom for the Flannel Isles. The local council will be very happy for it, I'm sure. And Miss Dinley will, well, she'll be the editor of the year and get a substantial bonus for her tour of Europe. She's provided me with so much help in writing History of the Isle and in life more generally. She's most certainly deserves it. I hope she will find time to send me a few books during her trip. I've never had the chance to read. She's overthinking, but this time in like the opposite way. She's overthinking, but like positively. Girl, she's getting her expectations too high. Even just a few I've never had the chance to read the complete anthology of Story for Sarah. Miss Elias is truly ingenious. Even just the few excerpts I have from his work have inspired me so much. She muses to herself, losing herself in the tranquil depths of her world of literature. Unfortunately, her moment of tranquility passes all too quickly.
Marcus,
a whole platoon of postmen just got off the ferry. Somehow, unperturbed by the panting ghost popping his head out through the wall, Marcus reaches the meaning behind this message in a sudden rising start.
What?
A platoon of postmen? Hey, a whole slew of them. The lads and I think it must mean your new edition was a cracking success.
Maybe.
All those high-nosed hobnobs are probably planning to invite you to give lectures all around the world. Now, Danae, go Now Danae go forgetting us with your sudden fame. Remember, it was your ghostly mates who got you here. Miss Marcus rushes to her coat and together they speed toward the island's mail drop-off. 3 ghostly men and 1 gasping girl stands in front of the small mailbox, exchanging anxious looks. Ahoy, gentlemen. Miss Marcus, the postman already came and went. Left as soon as they dropped off these letters. Ooh. That's it. The Danae asked for any local postcards. Perhaps an autograph from the stars of the latest edition? Well, no. No, I suppose Danae want to spook them, since Miss Marcus asked us not to.
Everyone?
Oh, aye. There were the ones who spooked, eh? Just as well, lads. We'll need some time to adjust to our new lives as undead celebrities, now stiffened up. Only the lads man gets nervous over a little rising tide. These letters are all for me. Question mark? The ghosts nod in unison. It can only be you, wee miss. I've most certainly written a fine piece, only natural that it might bring about a bit of zealotry.
What?
Still, there's so many letters. I love successful Marcus. After adjusting her scarf in an attempt to cover the flush on her cheeks, she reaches over quickly for one of those letters. But as soon as she opens it, the words leave her painfully stunned. I want to apologize for my candor writing to you as a fan of the much celebrated writer of history of the Flan Isles. But I feel I must express my disappointment, not just for myself, but for they think she's lying. That's why it's called the fraud. I must express my disappointment, not just for myself, but for the thousands of other readers now feeling equally deceived. When I first read your column, I was captivated by its vivid psychological descriptions and the detailed introductions, prompting me to buy issue after issue of the magazine and even recommend it to my friends and families. Yet I see now your publishing has concocted a massive fraud, leading us in on a long con to rob us of any satisfactory. Her hand freezes in place, unable and unwilling to turn the page. What? Are they saying she frauded them because she's not, like, telling the tale? So they think, like, they either think, like, she's conning them because they're taking so long to get to, like, the true mystery, and they think, oh, she doesn't know. She's never gonna find out. But, like, I'm like, this is an excerpt, a column, whatever, on, like, her adventures. So I'm just, like, confused why y'all turn it on her like this. I don't like this. Not one bit. Anyway, her hands freeze in place, unable or willing to turn the page. The Daydreaming Post never stopped praising the upcoming editions of the history of the Flannel Isles. They claimed it would finally lift the cloud of the mystery looming over the Flannel Isles once and for all. I waited eagerly for almost a week for this vaunted new edition that would supposedly unveil all the mysteries. Who said that? Seemed like her manager lied. But what the heck? So they're just tired of waiting. They're like, girly pop, we want the answer. We want a conclusion. We've been reading for so long. Marcus, this is just your first time as a writer. Only for you to introduce some sad old captain with a ghost story, an overly foggy day, followed by some island swallowed waves, and then a bit of old history about the 7 holy isles. Dang, they hated the stories even more. That's crazy. And nothing else. You claim these ghosts have spent more than 20 years on this island, yet you still do not have a shred of an explanation concerning their disappearance, or why they became ghosts. You take the word of these ghosts at face value, but are their memories even reliable? Do you have any credible evidence? If these are truly ghosts, then why can't they tell us where their missing bodies are? How can you possibly prove this isn't another Arcanist rambling about her own fairy tale? Ooh. You try to obfuscate the hard questions with these twisted yarns, but all you've done is create more mysteries, stretching them out like old taffy. But I see through it. You never had any intention of concluding the story. You've been stringing us along this whole time. You, madame, are nothing but a fraudster. Time to rebrand. Foundation arc. Marcus stands still, her mouth agape, unable to make a sound. This letter, truly terrible. Maybe it's a joke, like awful pranks Captain James and Thomas sometimes play on me. Now, steady on, we Miss Marcus. It's but a wide shot across a bow. Don't mistake it for a barrage. The rest of these are sure to be glowing reviews.
I agree.
Aye, the old foghorn's right. Every twee lass or lad thinks he's a critic these days. Let's leave it to the professionals, eh? What's the letter from Miss Dang? Oh, where's the letter from Miss? Oh, ew. You may or may not be fired. If anyone knows what the wind is blowing, it'll be her. Uh-oh. Don't hype up. In the days, Marcus rummages through the pile of letters as if seeking a life preserved in a stormy sea. Soon enough, she finds what she is looking for. Uh-oh! Dear Miss Marcus, our illustrate... This is not happy music. This is not happy music, I repeat. This is not happy music. Dear Miss Marcus, our illustrious writer from the History of the Flannel Isles column. Dear Miss Marcus, first, as a matter of business, I must admit that yesterday's issue of the Daydream Post featuring the History of the Isles was a tremendous sales success. Uh-oh. Spurred on by the delay caused by your previous edition, it seems our journal was sold out within hours by your eager readers. But we'd only just settled on the second printing before a group of frenzied readers stormed up to our office. They were waving their arms, shouting things like, "Refund! This is fraud!" And one particular exuberant fellow claimed he'd be writing to the Prime Minister to report you. Is this how Hoyoverse felt when freaking they changed Nebulette? And then they were like, "We're gonna report you for fraud." You can't report her for fraud. What? That's not how fraud works. And if I was the Prime Minister, I'd throw this freaking crap out. Like, what the frick? Also, Marcus is a child. Y'all need to chill. Also, child labor? Question mark? Now that I think about it. After communicating with them, we realized that they were loyal readers of the History of the Flannel Isles. Well, that's one column in the whole newspaper. Like, you can't call fraud when you, like, maybe you should find other things to like in the freaking magazine, newspaper, whatever, you know? After they called your History of the Isles a premeditated scam disguised as a documentary, they accused us of conspiring with you to deceive everyone. What absurd allegations. They even redirected their dissatisfaction with the History of the Isles on us, a small-time publishing house. That's one way to put it. To be candid, we did launch a significant promotional campaign before the release of this issue. However, it was not a hasty decision. it was out of trust in you. Maybe y'all should have freaking read it first and then gotten to the minds of the readers. You know what I mean? But I feel like she did kind of talk about what they were looking for. I don't know. They just want answers, but I don't. You promised us in your submission that all your descriptions were based on first-hand experiences of those directly involved. You're responsible for their authenticity. Oh, now they think you're lying too. Regrettably, things have now developed beyond anyone's imagination. We believe that if you cannot significantly meet the reader's expectations in the next edition with a sensational calm or some sort of revealing of ultimate truth, otherwise you may need to consider a new fetishism or perhaps a change of subject beyond the Flannel Isles, or simply give up on your job altogether. We sincerely hope you consider our advice above. Flop. The bitter sting of the letter slaps the strength from her legs as she collapses slowly to the ground and into a heap. Guys, the ghost attempt was the best they can do. The ghost attempt as best they can to make what the rest of the letters hold. To make out what the rest of the letter holds. It is despicable that you would abuse the scared power of the pen to promote this bizarre so-called arcanum, and how much worse. Why is he reading it out loud? Why would you do that? Has this girl not been through enough? And how much worse for is it? Oh my gosh. Whew. Freaking let's reel this back in, guys, with this freaking writing here. Okay. It's despicable that you would abuse the sacred power of the pen to promote this bizarre so-called arcanum, and how much worse it is. It's prodding, unconnected narrative, if anything at all, of what you said was true. It would only mean our world has gone mad.
No.
Wrong letter. Sorry, lass. You could have read the first line and stopped. He feigns a soft bombing whistle as he tosses the letter into the letter aside. Imagine like a bomb.
Marcus.
Allow me, Miss Marcus. If my years have proven any use at all, it's been in discern truth from slander. I wish to extend my congratulations to the author. Uh-oh. From what must have been a handsome fee you earned yourself with your talents, chief of which must be in huckstering and forgery. I pray you'll fare well during the coming police interrogations for this fraud of an edition. Hopefully they'll be trained to make sense of this arcanist tat. Apologizing, it seems wisdom does not always spring from age. I think maybe I found one that isn't quite so terrible. Can we find one that isn't terrible at all? How about we do that? How about we find one that isn't terrible? Really? Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. No. Just stop, guys. Be like, screw the outside world. Dear author, I wanted to know that I fully understood the deep meaning behind this publication. It is crystal clear that you drew inspiration from the story of Penelope and the dainties as you prepared us for an endless tapestry and a bottomless bucket. I'm so glad to be able to bear witness to what you've created, a torture to the sense which has left me wishing to swap places with Tantalus himself. So long, a good riddance to your interminable stories.
Sorry.
So sorry, Marcus. I was never much for reading. What is that? Good? It's terrible. I'm sure you at least know what the word torturous means. Thank you all the same, Donald. She nods weakly towards Donald. Then, in a slow fall, To match the crashing waves against the shore. She collapses completely to the ground. Oh, poor Marcus. I know that one day you'll be a famous writer of the Foundation. Oh. Wait, this is the Foundation, isn't it? I'm only saying that because wasn't this Eric's room in her, Oh no, it's not the Foundation. This was Eric's room though, in the Foundation. This empty cell of a room. The ghosts clump together, anxious in the dim room. Marcus sits up in bed after a struggle. The harrowing words in those letters still writhing through her thoughts. All coming together in a catastrophic clash of anxiety, dread, and helplessness. The nearby voices grow louder, dragging her out from one kind of havoc to the next. I'm dreadfully sorry, lass, but let's get on to riding the ship. We can bridge the water if we find the holes. It's evidence to me that our failure must be laid on Mr. Thomas. It's very clear it was his far-fetched tale that set your readers off.
Everyone?
I can't imagine anyone wasting their precautious time reading something so bizarre and fanciful. Oh my gosh. Oh my freaking gosh. The likes of which surely spoiled many an afternoon tea. He crosses his arms, turning with a vexed expression to his camperot.
No.
Oh, it was my part, eh? Here I thought the captain goes down with the ship.
In fact...
Didn't you hear what the wee miss had to say? Her readers want positivity and progress, not ancient prattle. It was your bait what steered us into the rocks. Those yarn for years were so long they'd nary fit in my granny's attic. Miss Marcus' readers probably nodded off halfway through. Oh, whine all you like. What do you know of storytelling, eh? I'll bet you didn't even know your Shakespeare from your Shirley. I freaking don't. James' translucent face turns red with anger, his mustache bristling. So stop, please, both of you.
Sirs.
I was about to say sigh. I should just sigh. Please calm down, gentlemen. Let's hear what Donald has to say. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Well, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but lying is worse than sin. Is a worse sin. So speak I must. I reckon it was both of your stories that did this. Oh, brother. Captain, your story was nothing more than a chance for you to show off. You distorted the truth, even when went against what Thomas described.
But...
I think that story, Miss Marcus's work, I think our story, Miss Marcus's work, it should have focused on the mysteries of the Flannel Isles themselves. He's right about that. The story should be the mysteries. I guess people don't really care about the history. They've had enough. We want mysteries and answers. So Marcus, this is just your first time getting canceled. It happens to everyone.
That's right.
Well said, Donald. It just means you're too popular. And you...
What?
Except for some cancellations. Like the most recent ones and some in the past. They are very much deserved. But like nowadays, people will get mad at you for anything. I mean anything. Thomas, your story had just as many mistakes. Just of a different sort. You did exactly what Miss Marcus' readers said they hated. You gave her story with mysteries, but no ending. How could anyone be happy with that? I mean, he's kind of eating. Who is that? Donald? Donald, you eating, leaving no crumbs. I just said what I knew, nothing more. No lies, no reservations. But not every story needs to be told. 12 years and more we've been on 10 years or more we've been on this island. Still, you both know nothing about this place. About nothing. About anything. And you, Danae, have at least the wits to trust someone with experience. I'm telling you. The Danaes and the cannons and whatever are freaking... Like, my brain has to rewire itself to not use that word in daily life every time I say it.
Marcus.
Actually, Miss Marcus, I'm afraid, well, maybe this isn't our fault entirely either. You're blaming me? She just wrote what y'all put. Y'all said this one's gonna slap, and it didn't. Don't you blame Marcus. Well, but blame no. Only you were the one who wrote down our stories. We're not writers, miss. We didn't know what bits are important or how to finish the story. Maybe your readers are angry for a good reason. Whew. I don't know how to tell you all this, but your story sucked, okay? Donald, never mind. You burnt the food. You're no longer cooking. Your story sucked. If your stories didn't suck, people would be okay with them. But your story sucked. People did not care about the stories. It doesn't matter how she wrote them. They just want answers, and you didn't give any. Not a single one of y'all. Did you not read the letters? It's not Marcus's fault y'all don't know nothing. Y'all are her real only source of information, and y'all failed to do that. The important bits, none of it was important. You're so right. It's Marcus's fault for even including any of it. Jeez Louise. And maybe you should have based the edition on what I said about the 7 Holy Isles and the Pilgrims. Then you could have given them a proper investigation. Something to really talk about. Are y'all listening? Okay? They said they want the answers. They don't want something to talk about. They want a conclusion. They've been locked in for so long. They're tired. They're tired of being locked in. Okay? I just think that they wanted answers. So I failed to see how this is Marcus's fault, but you know, we shall continue. Y'all were, she asked for a story that gave her answers, and none of y'all gave one, so I'm like so confused. You guys are the only ones that could tell her, but y'all don't even know for real, do you? So now we see Donald. If only we had listened to you, eh? Not so noble now, eh? Face it, lad. That story of yours was weaker than watered down whiskey. It was all y'all's stories. I don't know how y'all don't get it.
Great.
No one liked any of y'all's. Thomas is right, laddie. Though only in as much as they said about broken clocks. The truth of the matter is clear, lads. The wee miss should have only used my story. Can't Marcus use her arcane skill? Because everything can be read, right, Marcus? So why don't you just use it on the island and see? Because then she could see the history, like she did with the painting. Maybe she doesn't know how to use her arcane skill yet. But she has the box. But I'm like, anything could be read. Read the island. See what happened. Matter is, Thomas is right, laddie. Though only in as much as they say about broken clocks, the truth of the matter is clear, lads. The wee miss should have only used my story.
Excuse me.
Oh, hey. What makes you say that? Rubber snapper, Mr. Krabs, yes.
No, it's
Please,
not right.
stop. The spirits' voices of their heated quarrel engulfed the entire room. In her despair, Marcus begins to question herself. I'm not helping. When exactly did the story of mine turn into a catastrophe? Was it when the dulge of angry letters arrived? Was it when I submitted the revised manuscript? Or was it when I hesitated to choose between their stories?
Can I do it?
Maybe I'm not truly cut out for this job. Well, you're also like a child, Marcus, so... When I began writing, I wanted to record everything, every piece of knowledge, especially those lesser-known facts. Things that might be lost in time, that might go silent if I wasn't there. Stories that could have been exquisite, delicate, captivating, or at least relatable. But what has all that work brought me? and Marcus closes her eyes. Agonizing memories flash over the theater of her mind meticulously. Her dream seems to be pulling further and further away from her. I dreamed that my work would help humankind to understand and accept Arcanum. But now my column is being banished back to my once loyal readers. But now my column is being bashed by my once loyal readers. They even stormed the Daydream Post. Poor Miss Denley must have lost her chance at the Editor of the Year award. Perhaps. Oh, what if this leads to the entire community to distrust any future writing related to Arcanum, or worse, those who still read them might become labeled as occultists or lunatics, overthinking Miss Marcus. The human society's discrimination against Arcanists might grow even more severe. Not just in the Flannel Isles. No, maybe against the entire Arcanist world. And I will be the catalyst whose horrible writing divided our two races even further. This is very much... Marcus, you never change. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but she had this exact same thought. Like, the turmoil, and I'm the trigger. And it was me. I did it. Marcus, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. Sometimes you have to blame other people. And it's not you.
It's all my fault.
Oh my gosh, Marcus, no! No, Marcus! No! Marcus covers her face with her palms, but no amount of self-pity can drown out the squabbling spirits. I only hope to alleviate the loneliness by reading this island and documenting its stories. I just wanted to share them with the world. So she is reading the island, but she can't see how they died. How does Marcus's power work again?
Why?
By now, these ghost gentlemen, protagonists in my latest disaster, are tearing into one another before my eyes. My writing didn't bring them happiness. It intensified their misfortune.
No.
Oh my gosh, I cannot bear to see Marcus cry again. But all I wanted to do was tell a fascinating story. She lets out a loud cry from her corner, hoping to silence the continual bickering, even for a moment.
Hmm?
To her surprise, the argument stops indeed. Did that actually work?
Hey!
Oi, pick yourself up, Marcus. Someone's at the door. What? The girl comes back to her senses, pulling herself to the door by will alone. Please have those guys not talk anymore. The way they talk is just so confusing. A figure at once familiar and strange stands before her. Foundation member?
Good to see you, Miss Marcus.
Oh! 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 Madam Hoffman! Oh! Oh! It's so good to see you again, Madam Hoffman. Ah! I'm your biggest fan. I'm one of your biggest fans for sure. I love you, Madam Hoffman. I love you! Rest in peace. I don't know what that means, but rest in peace, Madam Hoffman. Good morning, madam. My name is Hoffman, and I've come a long way to see you. Wow. Madam Hoffman herself in the flesh. Alive. The joy I feel. Right here. Yes, this is where my heart is. The figure of a woman dressed in a long brown coat walks ahead at a steady pace, followed by a nervous young lady.
Excuse me?
Are you from the Foundation?
Yes.
Yes, it seems I'll be able to skip my introduction. Hoffman nods, seemingly ignoring the neglecting the panic in Marcus's tone.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry for having made you come all this way. I will respond to the Foundation as soon as possible, I promise. Hoffman halts her steps and turns around. Her puzzled gaze accurately catches Marcus's evasive eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The Foundation's application has been approved by the local government, and from today onward, a small portion of the archipelago will be set aside for our use as an experimentation site. Experiments?
Yes.
Yes, for an upcoming observation project jointly operated between the Foundation and Laplace. It involves a new Arcanist theory. I am not supposed to know about. I'm not supposed to know about this? Marcus takes a few steps back with a flinch.
No problem.
Oh, am I not supposed to know about this? Sorry, not. I'm not. No, it's not confidential. Laplace does not intend to keep its work here a secret. Observation project. Laplace, emerging Arcanist theory.
I got it!
Oh, I think I've read about this before. The study of Lie's line.
Yes.
Correct. Laplace published the theory in the second edition of the Frontier of Times journal. Just some basic introductions, of course, nothing monumental. Hoffman nods non-pulsely at Marcus's breadth of reading. Beneath oh my gosh. The Foundation will be responsible for this project's application, procedures, and field confirmation. Of course, we will aim to minimize any impacts on the natural surroundings as much as possible. She turns around to look at the solitary tower perched on the cliff. Wait, is this like a thing for, so as they're doing the experiments or whatever, Marcus can stay on the island and be part of the Foundation? Is that what she's trying to say? She turns around to look at the solitary tower perched on the cliff. Should you or they have any concerns, please contact our Elena Star branch. CR? Branch, I'm just going to say stop. I'm just going to say stop. Branch for further assistance. So, you're not here about my investigation? My sole task here is to survey the Flannel Isles. I have no time nor inclination to meddle in the affairs of some unregistered Arcanist. The lingering specters of the other investigator finally fades from her mind.
Of course.
My visit is not part of any assigned mission. I see.
This is out of my own interest as a reader.
Oh? A reader?
What?
You read it? She said, okay, if Marcus ain't gonna finish this story, I'll figure it out with the freaking Foundation budget. I'm kidding. Well, that'd be so funny. She's like, Marcus, please. I'm trying to get to the answers. If you won't find them, I'll find them myself. Comes to the island. We're starting an experiment. I know that's not what's happening, but or it might be. I don't know. You read my column?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. From the first edition to the very last, I must say, they have been very informative. The horrifying letters from before seem to have grown wings, all ready to soar Marcus once more. She bows her head as if awaiting the imminent drop of a guillotine. Out of curiosity, I went through the trouble of finding some of your earlier works. You have covered a wide range of topics in great detail. Unfortunately, it seems the space provided to you by the magazine has been, till now, quite limited. Oh, those? They weren't much. Just a few jottings, really. I thought nobody remembered them. Haha. Though her body feels stiff, Marcus forces out an awkward smile. Oh my gosh, Marcus, please. Arcanum and Lighthouse lens maintenance. Do you remember this article? That was my first submission after arriving in the Flannel Islands from Romania. Hoffman nods, indifferent to the nearly overwhelmed blush on Marcus's cheek. She's so cute. She is so adorable. In the way you relayed the specifics of the lighthouse keeping with such great enthusiasm, it was as if you felt it had something to offer to every reader. The internal structure differences in the lighthouse design in various locales, the evolution of the lighthouse sources, advancements in the lamp maintenance, even the ideal number of lighthouse keepers. Frankly, I found it perhaps a little overwrought, but still undoubtedly worth reading. I'm sorry.
Well, if...
Dear friends, imagine a flame that requires no fuel, immune to exhaustion no matter how in cold wind or heavy rain. It shines bright enough to illuminate the sea even through the thickest of fog. Might we then be able to save our on nearly a century's worth of gas or electricity expenses and redirect those funds to more pressing matters? As it happens, on a small island surrounded by warm waters, there exists just a furry critters. Such, oh my gosh, there exists just such furry critters. These docile and nocturnal creatures could well be suitable for use as endless disposable light sources. Reproducible? Yeah, producible. There were many more descriptions like this. I'm surprised you remember them so well, Madam Hoffman.
Miss Marcus.
Miss Marcus, you must understand one thing. Though discrimination against arcanists have become less severe in our era, it remains most humans an ingrained habit. One that would change overnight. One that won't change overnight, sorry. Oh, frick, sorry. Yeah, it won't change overnight.
Why are you still trying to introduce Arcanum to the human world you're not familiar with?
Ooh, she kind of ate with that, Marcus. She kind of has a point. You don't freaking know. You don't freaking know. You need to go outside, socialize, have fun. Marcus falls silent for a while, her previous blush turning into a cold sweat. Her unspoken thoughts, aspirations as a writer, and her inner struggles, it felt as though this Hoffman saw through them all. Yet, feeling as though she had been spared in Hedman's acts for today at least, she raises her eyes upwards. I suppose that's a valid question. Perhaps I'm too naive.
In fact,
for me, I've always seen the world as just a kind of puzzle book. Perplexed riddles, obscure words, and bewildering images. One I was happy to keep a distance, even if it had many pleasant aspects. Human science, progressive ideologies, arcanist sports, various newly discovered critters, and many, many more. I wanted to share those things, the pleasant ones. They deserve to be known by more people, whether humans or arcanists. Her voice is trembling, yet grows more resolute on each word.
if I keep reading, I'll eventually find the answers to everything. I can introduce human arts and crafts to the arcanists and demystify arcanist fables and legends for the humans.
You're so adorable, Marcus.
I'll be the bridge between humans and arcanists, helping them understand one another.
Has her voice always been that high? I'm sorry. Maybe I forgot how Marcus sounds because it's been a hot minute since I finished.
Oh dear.
Did I say that aloud? Say that all out loud? She awkwardly gasped, trying to take in a great puff of the fresh sea air. Her face flushed red from ear to ear. Still, a gentle but intentional clap of applause follows.
That is a great aspiration, Miss Marcus.
Oh my gosh. I thought she said she's about to say foundation. The foundation has been working hard, toward the very same goal. Thank you for your kind words, Madam Hoffman. Yet the catastrophe flashes through her mind once again, plunging her back into cold reality.
In fact,
Only it seems my writing has done nothing but push me further from my goal. Not only have I failed to demystify arcanism, but failed my publisher's expectations and my readers. I couldn't even write a serviceable story. Do you mean this edition? Hoffman produces a folded magazine. The image of the flannel idol on it coldly clutches at Marcus's heart. You didn't throw it away? Honey.
You underestimate yourself, Miss Marcus. The story isn't as hopeless as you think.
I don't quite understand what you mean. Her breath quickens. Madam Hoffman, are you saying that I might still be able to turn this story around?
The readers.
Humans often read things differently from Arcanists. What Arcanists consider precious may, on the contrary, read as unfathomable to humans. Did I read that? Stop saying big words! Compared to the wild, divergent way of thinking of Arcanists, humans are more inclined toward concrete conclusions backed by hard evidence. Say it again for the people in the back. After arriving here, I quickly grasped the gap in thinking between yourself and the human readers of history of the Flannel Isles. To begin with, just how many people do you think are aware of the existence of ghosts? Marcus stopped, because that's probably like normal for Arcanists, but like for humans, they're probably like, okay, girly pop, stop with the lies. We've heard enough. Marcus stops in place as she goes over Hoffman's unexpectedly stunning question. Well, I understand the story of the Brown Lady of Braham Hall is widespread. Many people have tried to find her. Meanwhile, the ghosts of Graham Mansion are probably only known to the Scottish people. The White Lady is quite famous in Germany, but people mostly tell stories to scare children. Ah, so now you see it, don't you, Miss Marcus? History of the Flannel Isles is published in the Daydream Post's historical column. For most of the audience, the existence of ghosts is beyond far-fetched. For you to adapt the stories of three ghosts without even taking the time to explain the ghosts themselves to your readers, well, is it any wonder so many doubted you?
The readers.
Your readers couldn't see and understand your ghost friends as you do, nor could you have realized these ghosts were nearly as equally about the truths of the Flannel Isles as anyone else.
The readers follow the ghosts throughout the story, but never got to know them. They also couldn't fully understand the parts on Arcanum. The readers didn't feel engaged.
Hoffman puts away the magazine. You're right. I keep saying that I wanted humans and Arcanists to understand one another, that I wanted to bring readers a more profound experience, but in doing so, I overlooked the obvious. How did I let this happen? A strong sense of regret surges up to her throat involuntarily. Humans are often unable to sense the subtle folds in emotion. They're confined by their rational senses. On the other hand, Arcanists can just as easily be trapped by their emotion, overlooking the obvious, as you say. So
Don't blame yourself for this.
Aww. A touch of warmth reaches Marcus's shoulders. Marcus lifts her head blankly, not yet realizing that Hoffman picked up her pen from the ground.
As an Arcanist, you can read the intricacies of the world that others would easily miss, but that is also the problem. Human readers are more used to sifting through clues and details to make logical sense of the story. They also like to simplify things and draw a single conclusion. I think...
If you would permit me to offer some editorial advice for your History of the Flannel Isles, I have a suggestion. But please tell me.
You need to find some answers of your own.
Madam Hoffman, I love you. Conclusions of my own? I think you yourself do not yet know all of the... Get yourself a mentor like Madam Hoffman, bro. I want a mentor like Madam Hoffman. I think you yourself do not yet know all the mysteries of the Flannel Isles, but do you believe you can unravel all the truths about this place? No, I don't think I can. Perhaps creating this column was a mistake after all.
No.
No, Miss Marcus. Not knowing the truth is nothing at all to be ashamed of. Rationality drives us to understand reality as we see it. Curiosity aids us in searching for the puzzles yet to be solved. Both of them must be the fuels that power your writing. I thought a writer should be absolutely certain about everything they write. If my readers want conclusions, how could they accept that there are puzzles that even I cannot solve? I think they will, if you offer them the chance. They will understand your confusion and curiosity, as well as your passion for trying to unveil these mysteries. Whether you find the truth or not, it is the journey that keeps us engaged. What they need is an exhilarating experience from the perspective of an arcanist.
Can I do it?
Spark the curiosity with puzzles I've still left unsolved. Do you think my story could really do that? Can I really inspire them to seek the truth themselves?
Maybe.
Perhaps to seek the truth is a long journey, but still.
When we bravely admit that truth doesn't always exist, we find another truth, and this courage deserves respect.
Also, the thing I love about Reverse 1999 is because their game is time travel and going across the world in different times, they literally give actors a chance, like voice actors that have like accents, like a chance to voice act characters in these games. Can I be an NPC? Please, Reverse, please. NPC. NP me. Yeah. The C stands for Cheko, by the way. So please let me voice one. We bravely admit, oh, she just read this. The sun isn't any bigger than usual, nestled under the blanket of cloudy sea air. But its dazzling warmth still seems to scorch her for the first time in a long time. Scorch? Scorch.
Madam Hoffman?
Didn't stay long, but she left behind a journal filled with her comments and suggestions, and an address as concise as she was, to a nameless small island near Flannel Isles, where Madam Hoffman said she will continue her work for a few weeks before running into the Foundation. She also spoke with me about joining the Foundation before she left, but for the time being, I still felt I had more pressing matters to attend to. I picked up my pen and the courage again to face up to my catastrophe and overcome it. I took Madam Hoffman's advice to heart. My writing was no longer crammed with every detail until I began to scribble in the margins and between the rows. Yeah. This revision was quite frankly an extensive overhaul. The gentleman ghost voiced some overeager protest despite my repeated apologies, but Madam Hoffman's comments and suggestions installed great courage in me, and finally, I completed it. Oh. She did it, guys. She finished the story. The reading wasn't as bad. It's just unfamiliar sentence patterns like mess me up a lot. The lighthouse illuminates its surrounding, faithful and steady as always. The waves lash against the rocky shore, and the three ghostly gentlemen are in the midst of a merry uproar. A soothing breeze brushes past Marcus like a long-lost friend. Everything before her is familiar yet surreal.
Sirs!
So, gentlemen, have you stopped arguing?
Hey!
Look who's here, mates. Oh my gosh. And the last, a sight for dead eyes. The three surrounding Marcus with a delicate kindness, as if circling a flower that has finally bloomed. We thought you might not want to be friends with us after all our arguing.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. It was only that it took a little extra time for me to prepare a new edition for my history of the Flannel Isles. You know what? This spot seems very therapeutic. I think it'd be nice if Isolde spent some time here. You know? Just like with a friend. Like a nice, calm vacation to a lighthouse with a calm breeze, the nice seas, a break from society. I think this is the perfect treatment for Isolde. Yeah. But at last, I finally completed my final draft and sent it along to Miss Denny. Hopefully, I haven't made her wait too long as well. A pair of transparent hands gently pat Marcus's shoulder.
Marcus.
Well, not well. We know what you've been through, lassie. Without your perseverance and talent, winning back those readers would have been impossible. And a spot more courage than a soil betting the last of its pay in Monte Carlo. But you did it, lass. Aye, and some fine work, if I do say so myself. Stop it now, Captain. You're just flattering me. She shrinks her neck with embarrassment.
That's right.
No, not at all, Miss Marcus. It's just as Blowhard said for once. You didn't gone to collect the post yet, have you? Seems the edition made the papers already, and the postman brought the replies. Oh. And they're good letters this time. Nothing terrible about them. We checked. Marcus opens one of the reader's letters. I feel so honored to write this letter, as now a humble fan of your History of the Flannel Isles, or should I call it, to the Archipelago now. Your courage is more than admirable. Who could have thought you'd be brave enough to make such an extensive revision? Let me express my warmest congratulations, for now that I've seen your work for what it truly is, I am so pleased to have experienced such an unforgettable fantasy tale. Fantasy? Suppressing her fleeting doubts, she continues reading the letter. Fantasy? Thanks to you and these ghost gentlemen you've invited, all of us following along get to experience a little piece of the world, just as you imagined it. Yours faithfully, a reader eagerly awaiting the next edition. Imagine. Marcus feels at once a sense of loss, something she tries to suppress rather than let it eat at her. There are a mess more of these letters. Oh, including one from the Daily Post, the Daydream Post. Dear Miss Marcus, we are more than delighted to share that thanks to your newly update to the Archipelago series, the Daydream Post seems to have a tremendous rise in sales. What's more, we've been receiving requests to change the serialization schedule. They want at least 2 editions per week. After discussion, the publishing house has decided to provide you with an entire new section. We call it the Tall Lighthouse. Our serious regards. Oh, so they said the title. I didn't spell it. Our serious regards to you and your ghostly friends. Music stopped. Praise pours out from the letter one after another, overwhelming Marcus' humility until she feels fate. No, that's it. Didn't say yeah, it did say humility. Staggering, she retreats into the sanctuary of her room. She's overwhelmed from all the kindness, guys. I wrote a letter, and it's always been nice. Thank you. Was that a shooting star? I missed it. Make a wish, everybody. Oh, there's another one. The excitement conveyed in the editor's letter still lingers as a vivid image in Marcus's mind. Yet she remains more than a little perplexed.
What?
Did they choose to move the... That's what they did. No wonder they said it was a fantasy. Did they choose to move to the archipelago from the documentary literature section? Unsure about the publisher's decision, she continues writing. a new manuscript. As new manuscripts are sent out, enthusiastic readers are delivered to letters are delivered to the island, one after another. This is what I call a perfect representation of literary fiction. The tale of this investigative columnist friendship with these three ghosts brought tears to my eyes. To dive into the surreal world of mysteries has become a pastime of mine during each and every afternoon tea. Your creative writing has truly brought a smile to my face. I envy the talents of these comical ghosts and your imaginative arcanist way of writing. I must say, a refreshing break from the humdrum of human reporting. I look forward to reading more as soon as you can conjure it up. Conjure it up? I personally believe the series deserves a title of Fantasy Story of the Year nominee, and if it doesn't meet the awards criteria, we should create a new award for it. Something like Arcanist Fiction of the Year. Dang, I was out of breath reading that. All these letters are brimming with effervescent praise. Effervescent praise? Effervescent. But all with the same monotonous implication. Overwhelmed by the return of her anxiety, Marcus snaps her pen against the paper. You made Marcus mad. As she plunges yet deeper into the black fog, a familiar voice jolts her back to reality.
Marcus.
Hello, Marcus? Miss Marcus? Something on your mind, lass? Seems you've been out to sea with no paddle. A wee bit more than usual lately. Pining for a vacation. Maybe? You're not turning into a ghost like us, are you?
You fool.
Balderdash. She's not pining for the forge, nor has she passed on. Our wee rider is only a trifle tired from all her hard work, as usual. We've no respect for matters of the mind. He casually strokes his mustache, taking pride in Marcus, and by some extension himself.
Great.
Miss Marcus, dare I say, you've been a valuable star as late. I'm curious about what adventures I'll embark on next.
Marcus.
Well, Marcus, do you think you'll keep writing about this island, about us? This question, innocent as it is, breaks the spell that had too long lingered over her, as if waking her up from a stupor. Will I keep writing? I hope to garner more readers, to elaborate stories that have more twists and turns. I hope to make more humans understand and accept Arcanus. I hope that one day, humans and Arcanus could set aside their differences and join hands to uncover the ultimate truth. I hope to record and present all the truths I've read to readers. Even more so, I hope to be able to explore the mysteries of the Flannel Isles with them. But what is it that they want? Convoluted mystery plots? Wild imaginations plucked straight from the realm of fantasy? And everyone lived happily ever after ending? Marcus looks up in a daze, evading the expectant eyes around her. The sky above is unusually clear, but that doesn't seem to phase her. To fear her. What kind of reading, Cheko? To the archipelago that achieved significant success. Does that say archipelago or have I... Yeah, it does. I'm like, have I been reading that wrong the whole time? So why can't I find joy in their praises? The self-questioning abruptly stops. The obvious answer lingers, crawling back from her tongue. To the archipelago is nothing but a well-crafted fiction, a broken puzzle. The people reading it do not care about the truth, nor the real arcanum behind it. So how could this bring me closer to my dream? The series was inspired by the first-hand experiences of my dear friends. Without their memories or stories, I could have never written these tales Oh, as I said, at all. I could have never written these tales. Of course, I know my writing skills contributed a little to this unprecedented acclaim, but only so much.
Madam Hoffman?
But it was Madam Hoffman and her inevitable comments that led to the changes that made to the archipelago a success. I can't take an ounce of credit for all of the overthinking Marcus. Even if I were to explore every inch of the archipelago and unravel all its mysteries, the readers might only see it as the inevitable conclusion to an entertaining fantasy. Is the answer to my dreams something I can find in this small archipelago? The whistle seems to faintly echo in Marcus's mind. The stream whistle grows louder, overwhelming her eardrums with its piercing cry, like a sound emerging from the depths of her heart, a distant call from a grander stage. That's a steam whistle. A ship! Madam Hoffman! Oh. The whistle continues to sound nearby as a sail of a familiar checkered pattern is raised. The final draft is in my room, James. Would you please... Oh, the final draft is in my room, James. Would you please send it to the care of Miss Denny for me? I entrust this mission to you, Captain. Thanks. Oh, that's Marcus. She runs towards Hoffman without looking back, leaving her puzzled phantom friends behind. Miss Marcus, you're off at a steam. But hey, well, just where are you off to now? Farewell, Captain James. Farewell, Donald. Farewell, Thomas. Aww. The trapped young lady finally takes a leap forward. She does not look back. Carried by the sea wind, the letters and manuscripts flutter in the air as if waving Marcus farewell. Please wait, Madam Hoffman. Oh. The Foundation ship begins to loom larger in Marcus's view. The surprised figure aboard becomes clearer to see.
Madam Hoffman, I want to join the Foundation.
Slay, Marcus, slay! Sorry. Oh.
Perhaps.
That was probably the first decision I really made on my own.
Why?
But why? Oh, snap. Foundation Marcus drip. Foundation Marcus drip. She got a new scarf, a new coat. She got it all. Did she get a new hat too? I don't remember. But why? Why did it suddenly come to my mind? Ooh. It was a long time ago. As her vision clears, the overturned chairs and collapsed curtains around her hint at the ultimate conclusion of the current play. Why did I choose that path then?
What have I really achieved?
What? I don't know. I don't like this ending. Just kidding, it's not the end. We got one more to go. One more to go. I kind of binged this for real. Marcus is like a book swept out of sea, floating directionless through the dead of night. Familiar pages flash rapidly through her mind, echoes of the past ringing yet again in the present. I remember now. I wanted to make a choice of my own. So I joined the Foundation. I learned of the storm. I bade farewell to my era and my old dream. A choice of my own. Oh, she also got gloves too. But did I really make one at all? A sudden agony, almost tears tears the entire book apart. The spine of the book trembles as it struggles to turn a new page. Oh, this is after everything that happened with Isolde and... Yes, I made a choice. Now see where it's led me. I've ruined everything. Lady Isolde held a grand exhibition where she made that speech.
I wish for the Arcanists to unite
That was a noble cause, I will not lie.
and establish an independent kingdom of
I
freedom,
want that
free
too.
from repression and oppression.
Yes. I want that. I want that too.
It's all my fault.
If I only hadn't violated the confidentiality agreement, she wouldn't have made that dangerous speech. To be fair, Marcus doesn't know what Kakanya told her. What I did was not only fail. Oh, not the song, not braving the storms. No, I hate this song. It's so sad. What I did not only fail to help the Arcanists, but worse, it intensified the divide between us and humans. Lady Isolde and many other innocent Arcanists, deceived by Manus Vindicte, shouldn't have fallen into such a predicament. Political assassinations, ethnic conflicts, and civil turmoil have erupted all over the world. History has been altered. The storm was formed.
No.
I should have never called out to Madam Hoffman that day. I should have stayed on the Flannel Isles. Madam Hoffman? Then comes a clearer, more suffocating page. Oh, brother.
Madam Hoffman!
No, Madam Hoffman!
Don't cry, Marcus. I know what I'm doing. The future is yours.
She kind of ate with that. Madam Hoffman. Why do we... Like, I thought we were going to get a happy little tale. But of course, no. They have to end it with depression and sadness and memories that I don't want to remember.
No.
To therapy, Marcus. I knew it affected her. To therapy. The page seems agonizingly long.
What have I really achieved?
Well, Marcus, aren't you like, what, 16, 13, 14? Somewhere in those ages? You don't need to achieve anything. Images bristling with pages and regret ruthlessly intertwined in Marcus's frantic thoughts. Back on the island, I couldn't even stop my friends from fighting. How could I have thought I would be the one to change humanity's discrimination towards Arcanists? After I made just that one choice, to join the Foundation, every choice afterward only seemed to magnify the number of people I hurt, even Madam Hoffman. So this is how she really feels after all the events. She still feels a lot of regret, even after finding even after getting the ritual, she still feels, dang. I've never once managed to live up to my aspirations. Could it be? The cold abyss stretches out before her reality, naked of any illusions.
I've never left the Flennon Isles.
What? The active cells within her body finally find an outlet amidst the surging pain. A strange scent invades the air, blurring Marcus's vision. We're here.
Marcus.
How did you end up here?
What?
Oh, poor lassie. You look miserable. What sort of trouble have you been in?
Hey!
Sinay worry, mate. We've always been here for you, always ready to lend you a hand. The phantoms, as ever before, gather around her with great enthusiasm. James? Donald? Thomas? Her long suppressed emotions finally breached their confines, finding a soothing haven on the windiest island. Aren't you disappointed in me? On the Flannel Isles, I tried to tell your story, but everyone saw it as only fiction. and they praise its plot and suspense, but none of the credit really belonged to me. I failed to unravel the mysteries, and I failed to help people understand Arcanum. My so-called dream was nothing more than an excuse to run from reality. I had to run, tail tucked to the Foundation, and then to Vienna. In the end, where I don't know where I'm getting some of these words from. I see an I, I'm just like, I had. In the end, it feels as though I've accomplished nothing. I couldn't help Madam Hoffman stop Manus Vindicte. I couldn't help the incantation that might grant immunity from the storm. Couldn't find the incantation. Wait, this is before she found it. Oh. But you did find it. I only ruined everything. Yet, the bitter chill of remorse failed to tear her down. For her loyal friend's warmth, even through the veil of death, can illuminate the darkest nights, like a refuge on the dark seas.
Marcus.
Lass, we don't know what kind of trouble you're facing now, but things are rarely as bad as you fear them to be. Take that on age wisdom. Wait, when is this taking place? Is this right after Madam Hoffman dies and like all that, and then Isolde left, and then Kaka's about to leave, and then Marcus is like, no, never back down, never what? And then they find the thing. Okay, maybe that's where this is happening. Trouble you're facing now, things rarely as bad as you fear them to be. Take that on age wisdom. Hey, well, we're all proud of you.
Why?
But I didn't do anything helpful for you.
In fact,
Right now, I won't have you slander a friend of mine like that, eh? Or did you forget who wrote these wonderful stories that made people remember the Flannel Isles and to us forever?
Great.
That may well be the cleverest thing I heard you say yet. But I didn't even uncover the truth behind your deaths. I failed you all. Her head hangs low, with an irrepressible shake launching her forward and back. Heh. Familiar touch of warmth reaches Marcus's shoulder again.
Marcus.
No, don't be so hard on yourself, lass. How can we blame you if we haven't figured that out for ourselves? Well, a dozen years head start, no less. We've always stayed here all this time, and we've never given up hope. We'll continue to seek out the truth, no matter how long it takes. Remember what Madam Hoffman told you. Whether you find the truth or not, it's the journey that keeps us engaged. Suddenly, she's reminded of that addition. What was it so loved by her readers? Why was it so loved by her readers? You remember those letters from our readers? So many bright ideas, trying to fix the puzzle you set out for them. Nary a one got close, eh? But remember the fun we had talking them over. Finding the answer is not what really matters, lass. What matters most is our perseverance, our courage to carry on. Marcus finally lifts her head.
Madam Hoffman?
She understood that lesson all along and tried to pass it on to me. But do I really understand it now? If I were to die today,
Understand?
would I know what I was supposed to do? I think I do now. Standing up, she races forward, just like she did on the island's coast that fateful day.
What really scared me was not death, but the possibility of dying ignorant.
Dang.
Marcus.
Did you hear that? It's some kind of strange noise. She takes a deep breath and opens her eyes.
We can still make this right.
Yeah, this was the moment where she said, okay, let's do this.
Doctor, wait! There might be another way.
Aww. Oh, snap. That was so cute. Choices, more choices. Oh, Marky. Oh, honey. Wow, so that was the tall lighthouse. The ending was much more cuter than I thought it would be. Like, I didn't think I'd be like, oh my gosh, that was adorable. But that's what I'm feeling right now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Even with my terrible reading skills, we made it to the end. Yippee! And yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Discord, check out my TikTok and my Twitter. And check out all the cool links below for my sister, for her YouTube account and all that stuff. And also check out comfycheko. I post a lot of visual novels there as well, but I'm gonna play a horror every now and then, you know what I mean? So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheko out.